Hi, Usama students. Good morning, students. How are you today? Wow, very good. So, to formally start our discussion, let us first have our opening prayer. Class Mayor, please lead the opening prayer. Good morning again, class. Please take your seat. So, before we start our discussion, let us first check your attendance. So, for your attendance today, instead of saying present every time I call your name, you have to say any Japanese word. Okay, let us start with Nakasi, Aquino, Barreto, Bernardo, Cruz, Diaz. Where is Diaz? Diaz. Impressive. Perfect attendance for today. Okay, so who can recall our discussion last meeting? Anyone from the class? Yes, yes. Very good. Last meeting we discussed on the Chinese literature. Chinese literature. Very good. So today we are going to discuss another topic, is Asian literature. Okay, so before we start our discussion, let us first have a motivational activity. Are you excited? Of course you are excited. Okay, so are you familiar with the game, The Vote is Saving? Yes, of course we are familiar. Okay, so requesting everyone to please stand up. Okay, quietly please and form a circle, a big circle. Okay, so are you ready? Okay, whoever. Okay, so this is the kind of. Let me read the directions first. So, let's play a game while the vote is syncing. The teacher will ask the students to group themselves into five first. The students who fail to find a group with the appropriate number of members will answer the questions presented in solution. Then the teacher will repeat to ask the students to group themselves into 4, 3, 10, and so on and so forth until they mean. Okay, understood. Okay, so let us now start the game. Okay. Group yourselves into 5. Oops, Makino, I see you, Makino. This is for you, Lloyd. Name any famous Japanese authors for books. Is that? Oh yes, Susanoo Uesa. He is a great Japanese writer. Thank you. So next, group yourselves into, what? Oh yes, Mr. Aquino will take this not this. Please don't make it. So next, group yourselves into 4. Algasi. Algasi. This is for you. What are some common themes you noticed in Japanese literature? What are the themes that you noticed in your previous? So I recall. What do you recall from previous knowledge, which is nothing? But okay, what? Nature, love, and adventures. Very good. Okay, next. Take over. Group yourselves into 3. Hooray, Diaz. Please, Ever. This is a question. Describe a character in the Chinese story that you admire. Why do you admire them? Is that? Wait, that. From Amanda Smith. Oh my god. I'm so old, guys. I never find that. What is this? Maybe I should ask him. Is that it? Okay. Next question. No, next question. Okay, next. Group yourselves into 10. Okay. So, Cruz. Hello, hello. This is your question. Say any Japanese word or phrase and translate it in English. Is that? Yes. Diba? So easy. You know what? Okay. Last question. Group yourselves into infinity. 8. Fine. Bernardo. I see that. Please, Bernardo. This is for you. Would you like to visit Japan someday? Yes. Yes, why? Because constitution, culture, food, and I love it. I love it. It's very nice and it's so nice. Okay, so that's all for our motivation activity. So to start our discussion properly, let's first read the learning objectives. So everyone, by the end of the lesson, the students are expected to A. Identify the different periods that contribute to Japanese literature through a short piece. B. Show appreciation to Japanese literary pieces and authors through participation in class discussion. And C. Shall act out a scene that they like most from the folklore that they will read. So class, question. Are you confident that we can achieve these learning objectives today? Yes, that's great. Of course, we can achieve it with your cooperation and participation. So before we dig deeper into our discussion, let us first have an activity. So please get a 1/4 sheet of paper and answer this activity. Okay, you don't have to make a table now. You just have to write the period and then bullet, and then write what this thing and each one that they do. Okay. I will give you 5 minutes to answer this, and after that, we will proceed to our discussion. Okay. This is a table. You don't have to make this table now. Just write this, and go form. Okay. Okay, your timer starts now. Okay, pass your papers in front in 1, 2, 3. Every paper shall be in the table. Now. Okay, so please settle down. Let's have our discussion now. Okay. So Japanese literature. So Japanese literature is a great river flowing down from the past, carrying with it the wisdom and accumulated emotions of our ancestors. To navigate its currents is to embark on a journey through time exploring the human spirit by Yukio Mishima. Okay, so in this period, we are going to discuss the different periods of Japanese literature, the different authors, and its literary pieces. Okay, so let's start. So the origins of Japanese literature. So Japanese literature, of course, is a body of written works produced by Japanese authors in Japan. In Japanese, or the earliest beginning of the time in Japan, or written language in the Chinese classical language. So before, so Japanese has no own language. That's their own language. That's why they borrowed this Japanese language in their literature. So in the 5th century, via the Korean Peninsula, writing was introduced to Japan from China. So the Chinese people are the ones who introduced writing to the Japanese people, and so these Japanese people accumulated the language and the writing styles of the Chinese people, of course. So the Japanese scribes adopted Chinese characters as a system of writing. The use of Chinese characters enormously influenced modes of expression and lead to an association between literary composition and calligraphy in the previous centuries. So dugay kaayo na develop ang Japanese nga language, ang Japanese alphabet. So that's why they are using long time this Chinese character in their literature. From the 8th to the 19th century, Chinese literature enjoyed greater prestige among educated Japanese than their own, but allowed for a Japanese classic, especially those composed occurred in the 10th and 11th centuries. Gradually spread among the people and influenced literary expressions in reform. Even the songs and tales composed by common people totally removed from the aristocratic world portrayed in classical literature. So Japanese literature is highly influenced by the Chinese people or by China. Okay, so there are five main periods in Japanese literature. These are the ancient, classical, medieval, and contemporary literature. So first we will tackle the ancient literature of Japan. So ancient literature was until 794. So it is also known as the Nara period. So literary works date to the 18th century. They will have their own writing systems. Chinese characters were further adapted. Mostly deals with Japanese legends and myth. So their literature, the themes of their literature, mostly deals with legends and myth. And they use Chinese characters since, as well as mentioned, they are highly influenced by Chinese people during this century. So the earliest works that were created in the Nara period. Kojiki is a work recording Japanese mythology and legendary history. Nihonshoki, a chronicle with a slightly more solid foundation in historical records than Kujiki. And Manyosho, or 10,000 Leagues. It is an anthology of poetry. Then, one famous author of ancient Japanese literature is Ono Yasumaru. So he is the writer. He is a Japanese nobleman and a chronicler of folklore and myth who is most remembered for his work on Kojiki and his likely work of the Nihon, both of which were early Japanese chronicles of folklore, mythology, and the Japanese creation. So that's all for ancient literature. Let's now proceed to the classical Japanese literature. So during this period, classical Japanese literature generally refers to the literature produced during the Heian period. This is also called the Golden Era period of archaic literature. During this period, both Japanese and Chinese found their place in written work. So during this period, Nana is separation between Japanese and Chinese literature. The Chinese character, known as kanji, held prominence in official document, Buddhist, and Chinese poetry. And Japanese language referred to as waka or Yamamoto Owa, tried in early poetry, diaries, essays, and narratives. So non-inspiration, so uses the Japanese language and Japanese language. So Chinese language is used for documents, like documents, and while Japanese language is used for early poetry, diaries, essays, and narratives. So literature often portrayed the aristocracies of refined earthly life, delving into the themes of romance, beauty, and intricate relationships. So dinibulas ang themes sa love sa Japanese literature. So women writers of during this century, women are significant, had a significant role in shaping the Heian period literature. Women writers. Okay, let's now proceed. So there are several important writings during this period. Here are some. So the Genji Monogatari, or the Tale of Genji by Murasaki Shikibu. I think we're all familiar with this, or really not familiar. Makora no Sushi, the Tale by Sai Shogun. The Ikora one is one of the two standards order for a Japanese style of art. The Takitori Monogatari, the 10th century Japanese narrative, and the Bunjaku Monogatari, a collection of over 1,000 stories in 31 volumes. So just like the ancient literature, we also have this classical literature author. She, because she is a girl. Because, diba, Roman letters are prominent. She has a significant role during this period. So, Murasaki Shikibu. She was a Japanese novelist who was a lady in waiting at the imperial court in the Heian period. So she is best known as the author of the Tale of Genji, widely considered to be one of the world's first novels written in Japanese between 1,000 and 1,000. Okay, next is Sai Shogun, who was born on 966 CE, Japan, and she was a diarist, a poet, and a courtier whose witty, learned held a book, or in Japanese, Makora no Sushi. It exhibits an original Japanese prose style and is a masterpiece of classical Japanese literature. So let us proceed to the medieval period. So, medieval period was influenced by Zen Buddhism, and many writers were first travelers and ascetic poets. So during this period, mostly their literary pieces are written of adventure, journey. And so, work from this period is notable for its insight into life and the simple lifestyle redemption spiritually. So this period also is considered as a dark era of Japanese literature. So besides war and tales, the medieval period also saw the rise of the so-called Rima, a genre of Japanese poetry which is one of the most prominent literary arts in Japan before the modern Rima. Next, so these are the several important writings during this period. So the Tale of Aiki. It is an epic account of the struggle between the Minamoto and Tiger clan for control of Japan in the 12th century. So basically, this literary piece, this epic, is a story of, depicted or reflected the history of Japan. So other important tales are the Kamo no Chumai's Ujuki and Yoshida Kiko's Chori Zuri Bosa. And other notable genres are Renga and No. Renga is linked first and No in English is theater. So Renga is to be performed in theater. Next is authors. So of course Yoshida Kiko. His real name is Urabi Kinko, but his pen name is Yoshida Kinko or simply Kinko. He was a Japanese author and a Buddhist monk. His famous work is the Chori Zuri Bosa. It is one of the most studied work of the medieval Japanese literature. Kinko described how the momentariness and transiency of an event or a process intensify his beauty. So he is a believer of this philosophy. Kinko. Next author. It's the only one. That's the only one. Then let us now proceed to the early modern literature of Japan. So Japan's modern literature is classified into two, the early modern and the modern literature. So let us first delve into the early modern literature of Japan. So this is also called early modern literature period. It's also called the Edo period. In the new capital of Edo, which is today known as the Tokyo, the capital city of Japan, forms of popular drama developed which later evolved into kabuki. So Chikamatsu Monzemon He is popular at the end of 17th century for his Juboi and Kabuki drama. He is also known as the Japanese Shakespeare. So genres during this period includes horror, crime, morality, comedy, and pornography. So let's proceed. The important writings during this period are the Okono Osimichi, or it is translated into English, The Narrow Road to the Deep North and The Narrow Road to Exterior. So it is a travel diary. The next is the Tokaido-ko Hisakugi, or in English, Shamsmere. It is a mix of a travel log and comedy. As you can see, or as you can observe, travel is prominent during this period since Japanese literature has a theme of adventure. So last thing is the Nanso Satomi Hakenden, or in English, Satomi and the Eight Tales. So this story depicts the journey of the 8 samurais whose name started with the Japanese word for dawn. Next, the famous author during this period is Matsuo Basho. So he was the most famous poet of the Edo period in Japan. He is today regarded as the master of the haiku and one of the greatest poets in the history of Japanese literature. In his own times, Basho was particularly famous for his ringa, a collaborative poems in which a group of poets would take turns writing linked stanza. And lastly, Basho is known worldwide for his clear, piercing haiku. So Basho is known as the father of haiku. He was famous at haiku. You're familiar with haiku, right? Haiku is a Japanese poem which has 3 lines and 7 syllables each one. Next is Chikamatsu Manzimon. So Chikamatsu Manzimon is just a pen name for Sugimori no Mukui. That is his full name. So he was a Japanese dramatist of Joroi, and the form of puppet theater that came to be known as Ogaraku, and the life after drama Kabuki. They're extremely famous. Then Chikamatsu is considered the Japanese Shakespeare's. Why? For his assortment of plays staged by puppets in the early era of Bunraku stage play. So just like Shakespeare, he is fond of playing theater to perform good pieces. So he wrote both historical romances, the Jidaimono and the domestic tragedies of love and duty. See what one. And another author is Katsushika Hokusa, was an Edo period Japanese artist, painter, wood engraver, and a maker of ukiyo-e. Author of the 13th volume sketchbook Hokusai Manga. Yung siya ang author sa Hokusai Manga that begun on 1814 and the block during 36 days of Mount Fuji. But he is still considered one of the outstanding figures of the ukiyo-e, or pictures of the floating world, pictures of the transient, pleasure-seeking world of letters, restaurant, tea, houses, curtains, and dishes, schools of beauty. Anak fancy Hokusai sa iyang mga pictures of the world, ng everyday life. And then during his life, Hokusai produced over 30,000 books of illustration. Imagine that, 30,000 books of illustration. Theater programs, paintings, and color prints. His best work was produced when he was over 50 years old, and he continued to create beautiful print until his death at the age of 80 years. So imagine, 30,000 books ang na-create ni Hokusai. Imagine that. Okay, so for that, let's move on to the modern literature. So modern literature in Japan. So, the Meiji Restoration marked a pivotal period in Japan's history, triggering profound social and cultural transformations. So, Japanese literature experienced a significant shift as it embraced new influences from Western culture and delved into a diverse range of topics, including the complexities of human nature. During the ancient period, Chinese law influenced Japan, but in the modern period, of course, there are a lot of influences, and that includes the Western culture, influence of the Western culture. Japanese writers explored diverse themes such as human nature, identity, morality, individualism, and a clash of tradition and modernity. So, they didn't have conventional Japan, but a modern Japan. Their works range from introspective novels to political memoirs, reflecting a remarkable diversity in literary expression. So, the Meiji period, during the modern literature period. So, the Meiji period marks as the reopening of Japan to the West. During the start, we opened ang Japan to para accumulate nila cultures from the Western countries. So, a period of rapid industrialization due to interconnectedness. So, nag-boost ang industrialization sa Japan due to this that is brought about by the Western people. So, the introduction of European literature brought free verse into the poetic repertoire. It became widely used for longer works embodying new intellectual themes. Young Japanese prose writers and dramatists traveled through the whole galaxy with new ideas and artistic schools. Why? Because Japanese people are used to the conventional one or the traditional one. Not right style, but when they are influenced, but when Western people came to their country, they introduced another new artistic style, new ideas, and the Japanese people, as a part of adjusting, are hoping to that changes. So, nevertheless, the first to assimilate some of the new concepts successfully. Then, next, a new colloquial literature developed centering on I novel with some unusual protagonists. An example is Waga Haiwan Neko de Aru, or in English, I Am a Cat, by Natsumi Suzuki. So, din na develop ang other genre sa Japanese literature, the I novel. Next, Shiga Naoya. She is considered as the god of the novel, and Morihei were instrumental of adopting and adopting Western literary conventions and techniques. So, Shiga Naoya and Morihei are the immortal personalities behind the Meiji period. So, Ryo Sofia Akutagawa, he is known especially for his historical short stories. And Ozaki Koyo, Kyoya Tezomi, and Chiyo Higuchi, a strain of writers whose styles harkens back to early modern Japanese literature. So this writer right here, they are still using, or they're still, they are still using the writing style during the early modern literature. Next, so in the early Meiji period, Fukuzawa Yukichi authored Enlightenment literature, pre-modern popular books depicted in the quickly changing countries. That was during the early Meiji period. See, Fukuzawa Yukichi. Then during the mid-Meiji period, realism was brought in by Chobochi Shoyo and Futaba Taishimai. Chobochi Shoyo and Futaba Taishimai. Classicism of Ozaki Koyo Yamada Benyo, and Kodarohan gained popularity during the mid-Meiji period. Realism and classicism. Next, Ichino Higuchi. He is a rare female writer in this era. Wrote short stories on powerless women of this age is a simple style in the literary approach. Kyoya Izomi pursued a flowing and elegant style, wrote early novels such as Her Operating Room in 1895 in literary style, and later ones included The Holy Mount of Mount Koya in 1900s in colloquial style. Those are the prominent authors during the Meiji period. So let's proceed to Romanticism. It is brought in by Mori Ugai with his anthology of translated poems in 1899. So Toson Shimazaki and the magazines Myojo and Bongakokai in early 1900s carried it to its height. So popularized nila ang magazine na Myojo and Bongakai during the 1900s. So Mori Ugai, he wrote some modern novels including The Dancing Girl and The Wild West. And later on, he wrote historical novels. Adapt na siya sa modern ideas. So he started to write historical novels. Next is Natsumi Suzuki. Often compared with Mori Ugai, wrote I Am a Cat with humor and satire, depicted fresh and pure youth and Wuchan and Senshin, eventually pursued transcendence of human emotions and egoism in his later verse, including Kokoro, Light and Darkness. So Light and Darkness, it was his last and unfinished novel before he died. Then, proceed to Romanticism. So what is it again? Realism, Classicism, and then Romanticism. And now, Naturalism. So, Shimikaze is the one who shifted or introduced naturalism to Japan. Established with his literary works, The Broken Commandments, Nanai Yamasuton, and those are the two works of Shimikaze that was prominent during that period. So naturalism had a novel, Watakushi Shusuki, that describes about the author's himself and the own mental states. So the novel was not mentioned. This is the this genre of Japanese literature tribe during the modern literature that depicts the different mental issues of the Japanese authors. Next, the Neo-Romanticism. So came out of anti-naturalism. So led by Hakunagai, Junichiro Tanizaki, Mutaro Takamura, Hakushu Kitahara, and so on in the early 1910s. So the Neo-Romanticism is the anti-naturalism. They oppose sila sa ideas of naturalism, guys. So the Senetsu Mushinujuki, Naoya Shiga, and others founded a magazine, Shirakawa, in 1910. They shared a common characteristic humanism. So from realism, classicism, romanticism, naturalism, and then opposed by the Neo-Romanticism, and now humanism. Imagine the evolution of Japanese literature. Speaker styles are autobiographical, depict the states of his mind and classify his novels. The next author is Ronosuke Akutagawa. He is highly praised by society. He wrote short stories including Rashomon with an intellectual and analytic attitude and represented the neo-realism in the 19. During the 1950s and early 1920s, the proletarian literary movement, comprising such writers as Takiji Kobayashi, Denji Kurishima, Yuriko Miyamoto, and Iniko Saka, produced a politically radical literature depicting the harsh lives of people in the society. During the wartime in Japan, it was sought to be the debut of several authors, best known for the beauty of their languages and their tales of love and sensitivity. So the most notable authors of this era was Junichiro Tanikaze, the first winner of the Nobel Prize for Literature, and Yasunari Kawabata, a master of psychological fiction. Another is Ashihai Hino. He wrote lyrical bestseller glorifying the war, and Tatsuzo Ishikawa, who attempted to publish a disturbingly realistic account of the advance of Nanji. And if there are authors who glorify the war, there are also authors who oppose the war, which include Denji Kuroshima, Mitsuharu Kaneko, Kenio Obama, and Jun Ishikawa. So the post-war literature of Japan. So the World War II and the Japan's defeat. So during this era, themes of disaffection, loss of purpose, and coping mechanism to defeat has popularized due to that has a deep influence in Japan literature. Plus, period of Japanese literature is a contemporary literature or the present day. So popular fiction, non-fiction, and children's literature all flourished in urban Japan during the 1980s. So as we all know, non-fiction covers everything that from craft politics, which are factual. So manga or comic books have liberated almost every sector of the popular market. Yes, it is very popular na karon ang manga, ng mga anime series. Manga is the comic books of Japan. So it is very popular. They include virtually every field of human interest, such as a multi-volume high school history of Japan. And for the adult market, a manga is manga introduction to economics. Then, so that's all for the discussion. That's all about the Japanese literature. Again, what are the 5 main periods of Japanese literature? The ancient period, classical period, medieval period, modern period, and contemporary period. So, how does the Japanese literature reflect broader societal or cultural issues? Anyone from the class? Based on our discussion, what have you learned? How did the Japanese literature reflect broader societal or cultural issues? Yes, Mace, but yes, very good. Japanese literature not only depends on love, nature, adventure, but Japanese literature is a reflection itself to the Japanese people, culture, and its history. Next, so since we are through our discussion, and I know that you are a good listener, and I know you understand that. Did you understand? Or either it is confusing or funny when I explain one. What is it? Okay, no more questions. Are you sure? So we can proceed to our update. Okay, no more questions. So let us now proceed to the application. So, instructions. The teacher will group the class into 5. From the folktale Momotaro, each group shall act out a scene that they like the most from the folktale, and they will be given 5 minutes to prepare and present their role play in the class. So I will group you into 5 groups. Okay, count from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, all number 1 is stay here, number 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. Okay, so what we're going to do is first, you will read the folktale Momotaro. And after, I'll give you 10 minutes to read the story. And after that, I will give you another 5 minutes to prepare for your presentation. You will only just choose the best scene or your favorite scene from the folktale. You will present it in a class with a minimum of 2 minutes to 3 minutes presentation. Roll it. Okay? Okay, go to your groups silently, class. So here is the rubrics for scoring in your role play. So presentation of characters, achievement of purpose, use verbal and non-verbal use, imagination and creativity. Okay, here, timer starts now. Wow, congratulations everyone. You did a pretty great job, no? You performed well your assigned task. Wow, with the short period of time. A round of applause for everyone. So now, since we are at the end of our class, let us get another 1/4 sheet of paper. I know, just use the 1/4 sheet during the activity later in the back portion. You can use it for the evaluation. Rate a famous cocktail in Japan, which is Momotaro, which you have already read a while ago, and choose the best answer for each number. Write only a letter. I will give you only 5 minutes to answer this, and we will check them. Okay? And please answer silently, class. The timer starts now. And please tell me if you're through with 1 and 2, so like, proceed to the next one. Okay, done? Okay. Next slide. Okay, papers up. Okay, papers up. And exchange it with your signature. Okay, number 1. Number 1 is letter A. Number 2 is yes, B. Number 3, letter A. Number 4, B. Number 5, cat. Number 6, cat again. Number 7, dog. 8, dog. And 9, dog. And then count your scores and give it to your one. Return it to the person you're checking. And pass it forward. Okay. All papers here. Okay, settle down. We're not yet finished. So for your assignment class, yes, assignment. You have assignment. Kindly browse for the tale of Haiti and Hokusai. Please be ready for our recitation at the next meeting. So next meeting, we'll be expecting either a recitation or a quiz. Prompt is already assigned to you. So make sure that you read this in advance so you will get perfect score next meeting. Okay, understood? That's all for today's discussion class. And thank you so much for your cooperation, participation during the discussion. And I hope you learned something out from this topic, because this will be included in our exam. So see you next meeting. Yeah, see you next meeting. Class secretary, please lead the closing prayer. Goodbye, class. See you next week.